These days, most of southern New Hampshire is covered with industrial parks, shopping centers, residential neighborhoods, town centers, and small cities. And although we have the second most forested land of any state in the Union, from the smell of pool chlorine and chemlawn, southeastern New Hampshire is as suburban as it gets. Over the last few decades, New Hampshire has seen reforestation and once clear-cut land that for centuries was overlogged, overfarmed, eroded, and polluted. New Hampshire, a once forgotten place after manufacturing and shoe factories left in the 1980s, cleaned up pollution and worked on environmental restoration. Wildlife that had once been pushed out has made a comeback. Black bears, moose, and white-tailed deer, bobcats, and coyotes have all thrived here recently as well. As beautiful as it is, we see a human population increase, creating a high demand for residential dwellings and infrastructure development. I receive reports of Bigfoot-related incidents in and around Pawtuckaway and Bear Brook State Parks regularly from Bigfoot enthusiasts hiking in the area. Any evidence of footprints or tree structures come from trail cams and cell phone videos, and they usually get a hold of me through social media, either publicly or through discreet back channels. A group like the New Hampshire Bigfoot Society has allowed me to introduce myself to a lot of other enthusiasts and researchers in the area. And despite conflict with some Bigfoot groups, most people are willing to share their stories and findings with good intentions. If Bigfoot is here, does it have enough shelter to protect itself? And enough food sources to survive?
I am at the boulder fields here at Pawtuckaway State Park in New Hampshire, and this is a great spot. Lots of boulders, lots of caves, a lot of cool spots for large game like bears and possibly even a Bigfoot to be hiding out. There is a lot of people here, so the likelihood that a Bigfoot or even a bear would feel comfortable here with so much human interaction is probably unlikely. The trees here are a lot of white pine, hemlock, looks like some beech, maybe some red oak, a lot of conifers, so definitely a cool spot. What we wanted to check out was just the diversity of terrain out here. And one of the things that's interesting about these boulders is that it leaves a lot of cave space. The problem here, though, with finding a squatch in this area is the human activity. There seems to be an abundance of human activity. This is one of those places where people really like to come. Even though it's quiet right now, we're still not alone. But these boulders are massive. And like I said, there's a lot of caves, a lot of cool stuff here for large game to hide. And what we're doing is we're looking for any type of evidence that would lead us to Bigfoot might be in this neck of the woods.
To lock down my very own research area, I need to find a place with sufficient resources and where sounds and structures have been reported. Could this be where we set up for an expedition to find evidence of Bigfoot? Not far from the boulder field, we found Round Pond, an area teeming with life and food sources.
What I'm looking for is potential food sources for Bigfoot. And what I see in this pond is a lot of cat o' nine tails. And the cool thing about them is that they're easily dug up and eaten. The roots, even stalks, can be used as food. There's definitely a sign of beaver here and some other animals. And I don't see a lot of invasive species, so it's telling me that this is probably pretty natural out here. So most food sources are going to be natural. Also a lot of amphibians, maybe some small reptiles that would be easy prey for something like a Bigfoot. Catching frogs, salamanders, turtles, and some other cool stuff like that. So there's definitely the potential for some food sources out here. Whether this is it, I'm not sure. I do also see some nut trees, some oaks, some white and red oaks, and some shagbark hickory, which are, of course, sources of protein.
As we walked along the trail, we could hear some sounds not far off into the woodline. Was this it? Were we actually witnessing Bigfoot calls in the middle of Pawtuckaway State Park?
Sounds like coyotes.
Crazy sounds. Ooh. Hope I got those on camera. That is the creepiest shit. I don't even know what that is. Not sure if those are fucking tree knocks. That's a woodpecker.
When I got home and got a chance to listen to the audio, I realized that it was likely from a barred owl. Barred owl calls are often misidentified as Bigfoot yelps and whoops. Because when you're in the woods, and you've never heard these things before, the way the sound echoes through the valleys and through the woods.
That is the creepiest shit. I don't even know what that is.
It's haunting. It sends shivers down your spine. How long could I have been missing evidence of structures and sounds in my own backyard? Throughout my life, I've had a UFO encounter. I've witnessed paranormal activity in my own house, but I've never seen a Bigfoot. Whether jumping on a hot lead, narrowing down my own research area, or meeting the right person to bring me to the right place where Bigfoot is said to show itself, I need to put myself in the best possible position to have a Bigfoot or cryptid encounter of my very own. But where do I go? Who can I trust? We were prepared to jump on a lead in Henniker only to find the witness misleading and contradictory. After our initial visit, other researchers debunked his supposed evidence. It was nothing more than a stump squatch.
I'm not calling foul, but I don't see anything on your side of the river. Stump squatch, I guess.
An old rotten stump at the edge of a field. And the way that guy pitted us against one another really evoked my cynicism. After an event in our own community, we talked openly to locals about their personal encounters and feel that we have an area of interest mapped out here in southeastern New Hampshire.
Happy hunting.
Once again, the kids are all over it. They're pointing to woods devils.
Maybe there's a connection between the two that we're missing.
And they're in your backyard.
Yeah.
Something's going on with, it's not Bigfoot, it's woods devils.
Here nestled between Route 101 to the south and US Route 4 to the north, there's an expanse of land that contains multiple state parks, town forests, conservation lands, making it the last tract of land in southern New Hampshire left somewhat natural. This area is interconnected with private lands, lakes, rivers, quiet country roads, and power lines.
Sometimes walking through these lowlands can be like walking through a jungle. Vegetation is dense, even though it's early spring. Take a look around me. You're not gonna make a lot of time quickly unless you have a game trail or a bushwhack trail to your advantage.
I've been hunting in these woods for a number of years, and I always come across a few things that are questionable. Sitting at the base of a crabapple tree, I noticed some tree structures, some bent and broken trees. As I looked around, I noticed that there was a grapevine that was rubbed. It didn't take long to notice the bear scat. And from what experts say, there's definitely a correlation between bear and Bigfoot.
When you come across places like this, it's not hard to think, is that a squatch den?
The sounds that I recorded on this previous clip were unknown to me until I watched back the footage. Oftentimes researchers will record everything and then listen for hours afterward and find those anomalies and try to make sense of it. Since the road wasn't too far away, I have my suspicions that that sound was actually from a motorcycle. New Hampshire is known for its lush woods, especially here in these lowland river valleys. The vegetation is as thick as it can be anywhere. So when you walk down a riverbed like this, it makes travel from A to B a lot easier. We find these types of riverbeds all throughout New Hampshire, and it's my suspicion that cryptids and wildlife use these waterways to get around.
I am here up in the White Mountains and I'm checking out this river valley. And it's a lot like many other places here in New Hampshire, whether it's in the White Mountains or in the Suncook Valley. What we see is these rivers meandering through these valleys, depositing stone and sand as they go. But it's pretty open, and as opposed to this thick woods that you see all around us, much easier to traverse through here than it is through thick forest and game trails.